see. Time for the next one. Oops. Shit. No, for fuck's sake. Okay, let's try this again. All right, welcome to the RO show. As you can tell, it's Mercury retrograde. And for those of you who don't believe that Mercury retrograde has any impact on our daily lives, I disagree. Yeah. Wish I'd gotten some water. All right, so I did we just did the Conjuring a Prosperous Life course kickoff meeting this afternoon. If you signed up and missed the meeting, you're welcome to see it on the Facebook group. If you're having trouble accessing your course content, it's because I have a messed up menu item that I have to fix. In the meantime, the way you get to it is you go to the homepage and you click more information. If you see the courses, it means you're registered in the classes. If you don't see the classes at the very bottom, then contact me and we will fix it, assuming you've paid for it. So, anyway, sorry for the technical difficulties, but I will get that resolved probably tomorrow. What else is going on? Today we're doing the moon. Today is the day of the moon. Yes, today, yeah, oh, Incipitaculsis says, oh, yay, there's sound. Yeah, so I reset my entire computer the other day. I unplugged everything from the back and plugged it all back into new slots to clean up my port management because I got a new hub that let me. Anyway, when you do that, everything forgets everything that was plugged into it previously, so all the settings in OBS were wrong. It forgot that there even was a microphone, and it reset everything to the defaults for my system, which apparently got set to my virtual machine. So no sound was going through anything, and I had no idea because I wasn't looking at the monitors that tell me there's no fucking sound. So that's what I get for assuming everything is fine. But that was my Mercury retrograde moment, I guess. Yes, as I was just talking about, my sound is all screwed up earlier, but I fixed it. That's what we do. Anyway, yeah, so I ran into all kinds of technical difficulties with my class, with my website, with my sound this morning. And so behind me, you'll see the orange candle burning. That is to Hermes for a little bit of charity, a little bit of grace, and a little bit of me memories increase kind of thing going there that I need to be able to be better prepared for Mercury retrograde. All right, so today's class, we're going to go over the moon. We're wrapping up the 7 spheres planetary magic classes that I have. They are available free on my site. Let me pull that up for you. All right, on my homepage, to get to these classes for free, go to courses, basic curriculum, and shit, I keep missing it. Principles of Planetary Magic. Haha, there we go. And that'll take you here, and you'll see all of these things once you're registered for it and everything properly. It'll show up. Watch the videos. In each video, there is a set of there's a workbook and a presentation. The workbook has all the information we're going to cover today at a high level. The presentation has just the presentation that I showed during the video. Video is several hours long. 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm not going to talk that long about it today. But do watch it all. There's a lot of information packed into it. I was high and rambling through the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding. It's all the lore information that I have about the moon that is important to me. And I go into some theories and speculations that Artemis was Persephone's friend, and that when Persephone got taken by Hades, it is in the mythology that Artemis helped Ceres, her mother Demeter, find her, and I hypothesized that Artemis became Hecate with the torches, because it was Artemis who was lighting the night sky with her horns of the moon to help aid the pursuit of Persephone. So, but that's pure speculation. There are no myths to support that. It's just an interesting idea. All right, so the moon. So the moon, let's start with the chain of manifestation. Here we go. So to get to the workbook is what we're going over. Just click on workbook. We'll pull it up. Today we're just going to go over at a high level the goddesses, the occult qualities, and the powers of the moon, and what to do, what all that is like. And I'm going to wrap things up because I am tired about things. We went to a swap meet yesterday, which was just like being in Ciudad Acuña when I was a child, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of great fun, actually. We were trying to sell stuff because we were just seeing if it would work. It was interesting. I might do a Renaissance festival if you're interested in like wood turn bowls and Nicole selling her fairy houses and stuff. And we've got a friend who does a bunch of other cool stuff. But we're thinking about doing the Renaissance festival here in Washington. Maybe not this year, but probably next year. But booth sales is fun, it turns out. Interesting. Will you be talking about Enoch's Law of the Luminaries? No, I will not be talking about Enoch's Law of the Luminaries. I've never heard of it. I don't know what the context is. I am not a knower of all things for sure. There are a lot of people with occult shows on YouTube who know nothing about things, and I'm going to tell you all about it based on what I read on Wikipedia today. And I'm not going to do that. I think that's an insult to your intelligence, quite frankly. Certainly an insult to mine, Not going to do that. So I don't know about that. If I do find myself studying them and I find them to be useful practically in my personal life, I will definitely touch on it and discuss it after I have some experience with it. But I've never heard about it. I'm not aware. So, let's see. Okay, so back to the moon. Oh, does that have to do with the moon? Subtle realms? Enoch's Law of the Luminaries? Is that about the moon? Anyway, I'm not sure what that refers to, but I won't be talking about it. I thought you were talking about a completely different system of magic. Anyway, never mind. See, that's how little I know about it. Okay. Yeah, so, all right, so the Luna on the chain of manifestation is where we're going to start with things. So in the chain of manifestation, the moon comes last. So we talked about, in the course so far, we've talked about Saturn getting boundaries and Jupiter filling up those boundaries with the blessings and stuff that you need to be able to manifest the things that you receive as your fate and your destiny in the realm of Saturn when you're born. Jupiter fills you up with all the resources you need to enjoy that fully in the pursuit of it. Mars gives you disciplinary stuff around the edges to help keep stuff safe within the boundaries of your sphere of influence. The sun gives you the power to project your will into the world around you, right? And to enlighten your life and to make things grow into being around you through honor, respect, nobility, and action. And right action, I would even say. In Venus, you learn when things come into being, they receive the productivity aspects of being, the qualities of generation and creation and procreation, the act of sex that generates a child, either magical or non-magical, as it might be. And then in Mercury, you get the aspects of the realm of Mercury, where which is basically information and connectivity, plans, how it interacts with all other things are the properties of Hode, I guess, Mercury. And then in the moon is where the final qualities of the planets are applied to an idea that is in the process of manifesting. So, and this goes back to I was just talking about this today, I'll mention it. The Divine Pymander talks about how how things came into being by passing through the 7 spheres on the way down. And then when humans were created, we received a portion of power from each of those spheres. And that in turn is what we tap into through our conjurations of the archangels and all that stuff. But that's where all that stuff comes from. The whole chain of manifestation is the process of an idea forming in the mind of God, and then as it descends to the material realm, receiving in each of the 7 spheres a portion of that planet's qualities until the 7 are combined in the proper harmony to resonate with the experience of that idea in the material realm. So it goes from Saturn down to the moon, receiving the qualities, and then it gets turned over to the elemental kings, who weave together earth, air, fire, and water to create a material vessel for that spiritual idea, into which they shove this thing, and it has all the qualities of the planets and the elements at the same time while it's experienced here. The moon is the last stage of the process of manifestation that an idea goes through to become an experience. The moon is where you get the outer form of things. It governs the shapes of things in the tables of Agrippa. It governs the way things come into being. It governs the process of waxing and waning. In the sphere of Saturn, you receive a birth date and a death date, right? And it's it's the realm of fate. It's your destiny. And everything that happens between your birth date and your death date, that's your life, right? And you've got a fate to fulfill, all right? By the time it gets to the moon, what the moon applies is the process of waxing and waning. So we all have a birth date and a death date, but everything comes into being and then fades away, right? So like your birth isn't where you actually started coming into being. You started coming into being 9-10 months before that, right? And if you were planned, you came into being even before that. So you know, that waxing process of your life impacts more than just your personal birth date and death date, right? So likewise, everything else that manifests in this world goes through a process of manifestation, and it comes into being slowly and it leaves just as slowly. But everything is temporary, and that's another aspect of the qualities of the moon, is that everything has a time for all that stuff from Ecclesiastes, right? The time for birth and a time for death, a time for joy and sorrow and all that, peace, war, all the opposite things, right? It's just everything comes into being and then it passes away. And it's sad if you look at it from a sense of not having the things that you like anymore to experience on a regular basis, but it's also happy when you think about it being the passing away of things that you don't like in life. It's very nice to know that even the most troubling times are temporary, and the most and even though it's sad that joyful times are temporary, if I have to have temporary as a thing, I'm kind of happy about it, because change brings new opportunities for joy. So anyway, that's sort of at a high level what the moon is sort of ruling, I guess, or covering in the process. Yeah, it's where the final touches are applied. The shape of leaves, for example, comes under the rulership of the moon. Let's see. Because she rules over the changing of things in the process of waxing and waning, she's also the realm of deceit and hidden forces that you're not aware of. Things that can be done in the moon are in the moonlight aren't necessarily seen in the day. So she helps hide. She gives enough light at night for you to be able to plan and plot, but not so much light that you get caught. So because of that, she rules over sneaky endeavors, hidden changes, processes that might be working out that you're not aware of, either that are influencing you. So subconscious problems, traumas are manifested through images and symbols that aren't necessarily directly related to the sources, for example. All that stuff is lunar in nature. The realm of the moon is also the closest to the material world, so if you can get your consciousness up above the realm of fire, you're touching the realm of the astral realm. Astral projection is a big deal. It's a big deal in magic. It's very much the realm of mists, and it's where we see most of the things that we experience as magicians that are kind of hokey or woo related. A lot of it is mostly happening in the astral, and we see reflections of it here in the material world because we're aware of it as initiated magicians. But uh, if you tune your astral sight to that, if you look at what's going on in the overlay in the dusky parts of the moon, you're able to see in more clarity, or oftentimes less clarity, what's going on. It depends on what you're bringing to the table yourself, right? And because it is the realm of imagination, you have to use your critical thinking quite a bit. And the way to determine if things are true, I said it in my class earlier, but if you know if the way to tell if the spirits are telling the truth is what they say is going to happen happens. And they don't offer excuses or reinterpretations later. What they do is they say something's going to happen, and then it happens. And that's how you know that a spirit is a true spirit. If they say something's going to happen and it doesn't happen, it's probably your imagination. Okay, and it's a sad truth. But that's how it works. It's a good thing to keep in mind when dealing with the realms of the moon, and also to avoid the physical manifestations of the deceits of those who are deceitful, is to weigh what they say against what they do. And if they aren't the same, bring it to their attention and determine your next course of action based on their response. So yes, clarity, presentation of truth. These are the things that stop the mystical, misty, wavering weasel words of the moon, right? And the thing about the moon is it's soft and pliable. It can be used to your advantage, but it can also be, it's like passive aggression. You can't fight passive aggression with aggression necessarily. I mean, you can, and it's effective, but anyway, passive aggression is sort of hard to deal with if you're not also passive aggressive. But the moon is the moon, right? And the moon is the realm of passive aggression. So it's got its pros and it's got its cons. Every day, the moon passes through all 12 signs, right? And it passes every day one of the 7 planets in whatever sign that planet is in. So the 12 constellations are constantly shining their energies down. The planets are interacting with those energies and adding their own energies and shining that down into the material world. The moon is going around collecting that every day and dumping it into the material world for us to manifest, right? So that's the process that's going on with the moon. She's receiving everything from all the planets and she's pushing it down into the spheres below. Also, all the things that rise up are collected by her and passed up through the spheres. So when Hecate is said to collect the souls of the dead, you know, that includes going around picking up all the invisible things every day and sending them up into the heavens again. That's her path, is the moon. She's one of the 3 aspects of the moon that are mentioned in traditional mythologies. If I remember how I put the goddess part of the moon course together. I only talked about the Greek sources of the moon. Yeah. So anyway, Selene is the goddess of. She answers oracles and dreams, and can communicate with us. Hecate is more of the. Well, I mean, if you're a witch, you probably know a lot about her. I don't want to talk too much about her because I'm not a witch, and I have a lot of opinions that are informed by occultists, and the occultists have a lot of opinions on things that aren't necessarily right. Okay. Yeah, I think I just talked about all that. The triple goddess, Selene, is the daughter of Hyperion and Thea. I don't know why I mentioned Phoebe. Artemis and Selene are often conflated, but they are also depicted as separate in the myths. None of the myths make them the same person, but the people who interpret the myths have conflated them. She's also known as Mene. Selene is also known as Mene, but she's always Selene, as the goddess is being referred to that. Yeah, this talks about a lot of her mythology. She used to fight with Typhon. She's drawn down by witches who use her blood and rites, and her dew nourishes plants and animals, and she's the goddess of lunacy itself, right? So that's Selene. I talk a little bit more about her. And then Artemis is the goddess, and Selene is the goddess of the moon, like the fullness of the moon, the full moon, the waxing and waning moon. Artemis is the goddess of the horned parts of the moon, just the horned parts. That's why she's always depicted with a bow. She's a goddess of hunt and animal life, but she's also associated with the waxing and waning of the moon. And Hecate is the third aspect, and I have postulated that Artemis was the companion and playmate of Persephone, and she became Hecate by helping Ceres look for her daughter by night with her torches, and she just became Hecate at that point. But there's no proof of that. But if you translate Hecate, it literally means far shooter, shooting from afar. So anyway. She's also known as the only begotten daughter because she's the only child of the Titans Perseus and Asteria, because she received her power over heaven, earth, and sea from them. So she was powerful before the Olympians sort of took over. So Zeus acknowledging her in the theogony is probably an indication that her worship was much more a part of life than Zeus's ever would be at the time. All right, so the occult powers, the occult qualities of the planet is that she you appeal to her when you need to open doors, anything that has to do with calming storms, anything that has to do with getting dreams or getting weather to go your way is traditionally under the powers of the moon. She provides travel protections the way that she protects Persephone with Hermes. Like Hecate is shown on Greek pottery accompanying Persephone and Hermes on the way down to Hades when it's time for spring to pass into fall. So she provides travel protections. She also teaches about poisons and pharmakeia, which is the traditional role of sorcerers in the Greek occult. She can provide information about the occult properties of anything, and also she gets you in touch with the commonness of a thing, like the common usage of things. Anything that is common about, commonly known that you might not particularly know about yourself, she can help you understand that. So what that means in real life is like, if you move to a new area, appeals to the moon can help you blend in. She also helps with invisibility, right? Directly helps you become invisible, which is very useful. And also, if you're practically looking to make something disappear, you can baptize it in the fullness of the moon to wane and meet its end by the beginning of the new moon, right? So that's as the moon wanes, so also shall you wane from my life. Also, increase as the moon waxes, so shall this particular quality appear in my life. And you ask the other 7 planets or the other 6 planets to fill that vessel with what you want it to materialize, right? Anyway, that's one way to work with it. Also, lunacy, right? Lunacy is the inability to tell the difference between what's really going on around us and what's only happening up in our heads or in the astral realm or other things like that. That particular thing where you get a little bit crazy in the cycle of the moon, that can be influenced by the moon. So either if you've got mental illness and you need a little bit of help with it, you can appeal to the moon for some anti-lunacy. Or if you want to drive some people crazy, you can always appeal to the moon to drive them nuts. That's what the Thessalonian witches were known for doing. The moon is the final gate that an idea passes through. So like when you look at the this pinnacle of the moon in the Key of Solomon, it looks like a key. It turns out this is what keys from the 3rd century look like, especially in parts of Judea where this is alleged to have come from. So it serves to open doors in whatever way they may be. It's because the moon is the final gateway into the material world through which everything must pass. The final gate that an idea passes through, the first gate that you pass through when you're going through initiations, when you're rising through the spheres, is the gate of the moon. She rules mystery and magic, the unknown. She is light, revealing things you'd want hidden. Like, she knows what's going on in the darkness, and she will tell you. In the Zeus mythologies, it is to night that he goes when he begins to have dreams that he's supposed to consume the source of everything and become the demiurge. It was anyway, it was the forces of the night were the ones that were able to reveal it to him. And I remember reading something, but I can't find it now. But Hecate is the one that he went to first to get an oracle to fix his problems, and then she took him to the cave of night. But I can't find any myths that actually say that anymore. So now I don't know if I actually read it or dreamed it or what. But Hecate is, in my experience, known to be the key to unlocking the mysteries of the demiurge and what that applies to in magical terms. All right, so I also analyze in the course some of the pinnacles of the moon, and out of that you end up sort of with a list of the powers and the practical aspects of the moon. And basically it's good for weather, dream magic, health, insight, glamours, including invisibility, and astral type things. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail about all that kind of thing. I have lots of materials on that in the class itself, though. I do recommend watching through that video. Any initiatory path that you take is going to pass through the moon. When you design initiations, if you ever find yourself doing that, you should definitely use the lunar qualities of bringing things into being and eliminating things as you're passing into the mystical realms when you're planning those things. The Hecate practice is something that people find a lot of value in. Jason Miller's Hecate class, for example, is a very powerful and effective means to tap into the powers of Hecate and her traditional mythologies in a more modern way and more in a very applicable way, practical way. Let's see. Regular workings, anything that you do on a cycle that you tie to the moon is going to keep you in balance with the moon. Being in harmony with the waxing and the waning of the moon is something that I never did until, I want to say, like maybe 5 or 10 years ago, or I started doing it 5 or 10 years ago, but it has made a big difference in my life. It changes the way I approach situations, knowing that it's either a waxing or a waning moon. Are things coming into being, or are things kind of fading away in general? What should I be paying attention to? And that's not a hard rule. Things can come into being at times when the moon is waning, don't get me wrong. But when things are going to be more harmonious if you like during a waning moon, if you're solving problems, look for ways to get rid of problems. Look for ways to reveal ways to open doors and get rid of the obstacles. But in a waxing moon, bring in the things that are missing to fill in the gaps on your process, and you'll find that your solutions are more readily accepted by other people, more readily implemented in your environment, and more in tune with the needs of the people that are currently dealing with the stresses, for example. And that's just in my business life, right? In personal lives, it's the same thing. You know, if you're having a conflict with your partner during a waning moon, look for ways to eliminate stressors. During a waxing moon, look for ways to provide more joys, right? You know, that kind of thing. If you're, whatever it is you need to do, whatever the solution is, and you'll find that that's more harmonic in your balance, especially with partners of the opposite sex. The lunar qualities of your relationship can never be overemphasized enough, as it were. Do your initiations during waning moons. It's always a good time for rising through the spheres. It kind of already has things focused on that. When we do our release rites for the Conjuring a Prosperous Life, every other day we're releasing the evils that are related to that particular sphere through a conjuration rite, and basically letting the negative qualities of each sphere go so that we can manifest our positive results instead. Yeah, I go over some of the different things that you can get into here. Most of it I cover more in a lot more detail in the class itself. I don't really want to get into the nitty gritty of all this stuff. The key points I want to talk about today, though, are the here it is, the deity, the archangel, and the where is it? The spirits of the planet. I don't know if I have them in here. I mean, I do, but I'll just have to scroll back to them. It's fine, whatever. All right, so yeah, here it is. Okay, so in the in the 3 books of occult philosophy, there's several tables that I recreate in this in the class, but then specifically to do practical magic with this, if you take my conjuration class, I talk about how you work with the deity of a planet and the intelligence and then the spirits. This section here provides you with everything you need to do the basics of any kind of manifestation right. It gives you, so that I work with the Orphic hymns these days. I don't know if I was doing that when I wrote this, but the Orphic hymns is a great way to conjure the deity aspect of a thing. You conjure that intense power of the planet, and then you can conjure one of these archangels from either Tzafkiel down to Gabriel of the planet, and that is like the intellectual side of it, and then the 4 angels of the Pentacles of the Key of Solomon can then be used as the material aspect of that, and that corresponds roughly to the intelligence of the moon and the spirits of the moon. And the intelligence of the moon represents like the architect, and the spirits represent like the construction workers. That's a simple way of looking at it. But like in the system that I use, the archangels are like the architect, and these 4 spirits of the Key of Solomon are like the crew that goes to work to build the plans that the architect has given them, right? And in the Lemegeton, it's like having a demon, like there's a king of hell, and then there's the dukes or whatever, and then under the dukes there's legions, right? So in that way, it's sort of a similar hierarchy way of looking at it. But in my practice, it's Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all. So the archangel is like sort of the head, the spirits are the middle, and the outcome is the all in all, and that's these 4 spirits over here. So that is where those things line up. All right. Hi, Octavian. Nice to see you. The Subtle Realm says, when I was on acid 15 years ago, I saw forms coming out from the moon and toward the earth. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I've seen some trippy things too on the old LSDs. Back in my day, we had sugar cubes. Sugar cubes with window pane. Oh, the old Owsley. Holy shit. Sorry. I had channeling the boomers for a moment. All right. Where was I? Yeah, I think that's the key part, in my opinion, is the Orphic hymn, the Archangel, and the 4 spirits. Those are the things that you really need to get things done and have a good time here on planet Earth with each of the 7 spheres. And combining them has been a super effective way for me to do magic. I don't have a lot more to say about the moon today, you guys. This is the last of the planetary magic courses I'm going to be doing. Reviews, anyway, of that particular thing. Let me turn this off. So I'm going to get back to doing my regular show, which is it's going to be a little bit different, I think. Towards the end of my planetary magic course review stuff, I got more and more into the spiritual side of things lately, and I want to pursue that a little bit more. There is a great deal of magic involved in my life that has very little to do with this stuff. This stuff is vitally important. It's necessary in every way for you to be able to effectively change your world, right? But it's a toolkit. It's a toolkit of tools. of tools and methodologies. And once you understand that these 7 things are just quality bags that you reach into and you grab proportions of and you mix with the other qualities to form a harmonic that draws to itself like a lodestone drawing fucking iron, right? Where's my bolt of lightning at? It's missing. Bolty. Aww. I lost my lightning bolt. Oh. Poop. I'll find it. You know what? This bothers me. Oh. I found it. It's freaking huge. So at the beginning of the show, I mentioned that I changed everything on my layout, and everything got changed in OBS as a result. So that's why there was no sound earlier. Okay, so anyway, this is my mouse, my cursor. So anyway, this part over here, what you understand as a result of learning all these tools, you go through the 7 spheres of initiation, you receive a portion of the powers of the planetary gods to yourself, right? And once you have that, you're able to use it to change your life. And not just change your life, you don't even have to change anything. You can make your life more of what you're already doing. You don't have to throw everything away and start over again. I like to do that. It's been my bipolar habit for years now, so I'm used to it. But it's not necessary, you know. You just what these initiations do is they empower you to be more effective at your thing, whatever your thing is, your resonance, what you're incarnated to resonate into being, for your own desires or your pleasures, or for the sustenance of others, whatever gets your rocks off, right? Whatever makes your vibe resonate the most with everything is what magic is good at making happen for you. Okay, so we go through these 7 spheres of initiation, the process of transformation and healing and getting in touch with our inner selves and understanding what our core essence is all about, what it is we're here for personally, and then we're empowered to do that, right? And that's where the change to the world happens. And that's where the fun starts, in my opinion. And that's what I want to focus on going forward. These are the great foundations of occult practice. Now that we've gone over these 7 planetary magic things, like I've been talking more and more about initiation, the next step is to start doing initiations. I've offered initiations on my site before. I have to pull those down. That was a bad idea. Not because anything bad happened, but because I set it up poorly. And basically, if you get one, you get them all, and whatever. Not the intention. The intention was for it to be an organized method of attaining initiation, and it's slipshod and loose. But if you've been using them, by all means, I hope you enjoyed the way things were. But I also hope you haven't gotten yourself into too much trouble, because it's a lot of power that you're just tapping into. But okay, my fear is that people fell asleep listening to one and listened to all 7. That's fine. It'll be fine. Anyway, point being, yeah, so next steps, it's going to be about hypnosis. It's going to be about, not hypnosis, it's going to be about initiation, one-on-one initiations, applying this stuff on a personal level to your life, group things, local events, hopefully eventually, stuff and junk that ultimately becomes an initiatory system based on the myth of Zeus's life as he became the demiurge, with the goal being of us realizing, accepting, and attaining the full harmonics that come with being a conscious part of Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, and Zeus the all in all, in the role of actively emerging magician, as it were. Being the magician who creates things as they see fit in accordance with the vibes that are necessary at hand. All right. Okay. That's all I got for today. Are there any questions about anything or whatever? I don't see anything in the comments here. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap things up then. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Oh, you know what? Before I go, if you want to do an initiation into the moon, the thing that you do is the Orphic Hymn to the Moon, which is in the class materials, and the, let me pull it up. Slurp. All right, and put this up. Okay, so the Orphic Hymn to the Moon. I could just do a find. Orphic Hymn. There it is. All right. Which one is it? So I got 3 hymns to the moon here, it looks like. I don't recognize that one. Maybe I don't have the Orphic Hymn to Lunar. That's interesting. Let's see. I mean, I'm sure I have a reason for it. Let's see, text. Hermetic hymns. How about the Orphic hymns? Oh. No. Here they are. Okay. All right, so, yeah, here it is. Selene. Oh, okay, it's the one to Selene. I did have it in there. Okay. I don't know. Why does that not look right? Oh, that's right. Huh. So much for memories increase. Let's go with Hermes being retrograde. Okay, so, yeah. Anyway, hymn to Selene. So Orphic Hymn to Selene is your initiatory conjuration of the goddess. You call on the archangel of the moon. Where did I put that? What is this? Oh, sorry. I'm not lost. Am I lost? Maybe I'm lost. Okay, yeah, this is okay. All right, so yeah, so the Orphic Hymn to the Moon, conjure Gabriel with this seal and this sign, this name and this seal, and by his name and his seal in a lunar hour, and ask him to initiate you into the sphere of the moon, and provide you with all of the knowledge and wisdom that comes from that in ways that bring no harm to yourself or others. And that's your initiation process. That's all it takes to do this kind of reclaiming of your powers. So by all means, do hop on that if you're ready to start. Going forward, I will be doing this on your behalf with you in sessions with people, but I got to get all that set up and planned out. But that's for next week, hopefully. If not next week, then soon. But anyway, that's it for our Planetary Magic Courses review thing. I hope that you had a good time doing that with me. If you haven't finished it yet, you can go back and watch all the videos that go along with it. But again, all the courses are free on my website, which is... I've lost the page of my website, of course. RufusOpus.com. And all my stuff is available through the courses. Sorry, I want to show you, so I'm not just talking about it. All right, so if you go to courses, basic curriculum, no fee, and then any of these classes, they're all for free. These provide you with the tools that you need to do the initiations that come next. So watch the classes, watch the courses, get yourself set up for that, because we're going to be doing initiations, we're going to be doing transformations, healings, empowerments. We're going to make a whole world full of efficient ass motherfuckers who can do amazing things for themselves and others. All right, so that's the plan, and we shall continue the process.